Welcome back to episode 34 of my Stationeers Mars playthrough. So we have been hiding in here from a storm, actually, is what we've been doing. However, we have been trying to get to stability with our power. As you can see from the battery charge display, we've got a very large amount of power and it's staying almost flat. Obviously it went straight up at the start of the load. It's dropping really slowly. But actually what that means is, well, we are nearly stable. And given it's night time as well, that's quite good. So I'm optimistic that with the changes we made the last time, although the generator is very spiky, it is actually running successfully. I'm just going to quickly just pinch one out of there. So before we go outside, let's just make sure all of our stuff is sorted. Yes, right, we had a storm right at the end of the last episode, which is why I was in the control room. So we're going to need these because you know that these solars are all going to need some patching up. I might just enclose these in glass, actually. It would just save them to do this each time. Main reason I didn't do it earlier on was of course, actually, we've got a bit of a problem. We can't really make them airtight. I'll do 2 blocks, and we'll have to accept that one there, or move it. The main reason I didn't do it earlier on was just resources, really. Early game, it's probably worth doing just to save having to keep doing this every damn time. So we'll do that at some point. However, the priority for now is to figure out. Right, we've just flicked from. Yeah, you can see we're just flicking between charging and discharging here. So we're now discharging. But then when the generator runs, it generates an enormous spike of charge. So one of the things I want to do is, that was a terrible one to pick up, is to actually be able to send down the total capacity of the batteries. We could obviously manually calculate something there, but it's a lot better if we can pick it up automatically, because then if we add more batteries to the system it will just adjust. But I feel that the charge display in the control room would be a lot more meaningful in percentage terms than in whatever units of charge it uses. I guess they're probably watt ticks, so watt seconds roughly, which is not entirely helpful, I'll be honest, in terms of understanding how much we've got left. So I'm going to just add a little bit to the system to allow us to do that. I am also quite impressed by how much power that windmill generated during the last storm, so that's been good to know. I think we're going to need a transmitter to do this, probably a logic chip, although I don't think there's any in there, but I may have some in my backpack, I can't really remember. Yes, I do. Oh, I've got all sorts of junk in here. Right, let's put some of these water pipes away for now. That's from the water cooling system that we put together the last time. And I'm still hopeful that we can further optimise the cooling so that we can run the generator for longer periods. But there we can see that this is definitely close to full, which is a good state to be in. Of course, the other thing we ought to think about with the gas fuel generator is, except for when it's too cold, we don't want to run it when everything's actually fully charged, because it doesn't really do a lot of benefit. This is going to be more of a challenge than I had anticipated. I'd forgotten quite what a mess this is behind here. Well, I say mess, it's not a mess, it's just an interesting challenge. I think I may have to put the reader actually on the floor, because I've got to get it between this red network and the black here. So I think that might be about the only place to do it. we're going to do that anyway, even if there are other ways to do that. I'm going to put it there. That should have been a batch reader. Okay, and then have we got any cable? Yes, we have. That needs to go that side. We may as well power it from this side because it's slightly easier. And then see if I can do this. Well, that's currently a 4-way corner, so let's see if I can do a 5-way junction. That needs more cable. Okay. Yeah, I'll need. Oh, no, wait, hang on. Or does it? I'm actually really confused now. It seems to. I'm hoping that has actually connected to the battery as well. Yes, it has. Okay, that's fine then. Not sure why it wouldn't let me do it as a single place, but it would let me do it as 2. Anyway, fine. Let's get these out of the way. So what we're going to read is going to be the station battery. It's going to be a sum, and it's going to be, we're going to read the maximum. There we go. So we're actually really close to the maximum. I think I'm going to just transmit both these values, and then I can do whatever I want to with them later on. I mean, the percentage is the obvious thing to compute, but I may want to compute the amount left, or try and estimate the amount of time until it's fully charged. Who can say? There's umpteen things I might choose to use it for. So having the raw data is probably more useful, well, it's certainly more useful than having it pre-manipulated up here. So now all I have to do is the small task of finding a space on the grid connected to the black cable where I can put a logic transmitter. That ain't happening in this room, let's be honest. It doesn't really matter where it happens, so I'm going to go in the switch room. Since I've been poorly disappointed by the ability to mount these on the outside walls, I'll use the outside walls for other things. In this instance, I'm going to put a logic transmitter. I'm going to put it right there. It's a little bit fiddly to see, but it's neater than putting it in the middle of the wall, and it leaves us with options later on if we want to. Right, okay, there we go. So that's going to go, we're going to make that active. And we just need then to put a writer on the wall as well to write to it. We could do this the tidy way, or we could do it the compact way. I think we're going to go the compact way. I don't really like it when you mount them upside down. It's nicer when you get them the right way up. I'm going to have like one piece of cable too little here, aren't I? So one is probably going to be about 4 actually, looking at this. Right, okay, let's go make some more cable. That's not right. That's not meant to be in there. It's fallen in when I was making huge numbers of pipes. That on the other hand is meant to be in there. Let's hope the other one's not clogged up, because it'd be a lot harder to tell. Right, what am I doing? I'm making cable, which means I probably need to put more copper in here, because I probably ran into the copper. No, I didn't. Okay, it's unusual. Okay. So the other thing I do want to do is make some more IC holders and chips for the server room down at the bottom, because I've got some stuff I haven't actually been able to set up in there yet. And I know I've got at least one chip in there, so I'm going to just make a housing for now. Let's go do this. It's so much easier than tripping over out here, which is what we were doing. Right, let's just quickly snip that, grab that, and do that. There we go. Right. Okay, that's connected. Oops. Battery max. Battery max. And okay, so we want to read from the we want to output to there, and we want to output, whoops, the setting. Okay, good, there we go. So we've got that calculation we can pick up from internally. That'll obviously be helpful. We can recalibrate the display downstairs into percentages. At the moment that's looking pretty good. Right. Now the other thing that we do need to do is I'm going to need more chips actually. We need a monitor for the gas fuel generator, because that's now an increasingly critical piece of infrastructure. We definitely want it hooked up to the alert system now. No Electrum. Okay, let's see if we can remedy that. I always get the silver the wrong way round. Is it coming out? No, it's not coming out. So we have actually got a piece of code for the alert system already designed to monitor whether or not the solid generator is running, and also whether or not there's gas in the gas tank, which by the way I don't think I've actually connected up to any sort of network now, so we have no data on that, which is kind of okay, but I think actually for this configuration I'm going to have something that's going to monitor the gas supply directly. So we'll just simplify that code. Effectively we've already got a modified version that's monitoring the solid fuel generator anyway. Just let that do its thing. So if I can't make any more chips, can I at least make another housing? Yes, I can. Right, so let's go and get this. So again, what we can do is we can think about the logical way to do it is probably to extend the pink network to connect to that tank, and then to sit this monitor on the pink network and then use a switch logic mirror in the switch room to mirror that onto the data network. I think that's the simplest to set up. It may not sound very simple, but I think that's the simplest setup to do. We just got to figure out how to cable that, which might be a new challenge. But the pink, the reason I think this is relatively straightforward, we've got the purple cable data network coming in here, the pink network's inside that wall there. So I actually think if we connect the gas tank to it, the only thing I'm pondering is whether we should connect it to the black network so it's on the same network as the gas fuel generator. No, I think we'll monitor the fuel supply in its own right. I think that's fine. Although, mind you, it's pretty close to get it in there, isn't it? Alright, let's do that. Let's do that. We'll need to build a whole bunch of bridges anyway between the pink network and the purple one, because we need to, or I want to be able to monitor the status of these so I know when they need changing. So that will be something that needs to be done anyway. Yeah, but that's black right there, so this is actually really easy. It's just 3 in here. There we go, that was dead easy. Make sure that's actually labelled. I'm just going to call that a fuel tank. Okay, so we probably want to monitor a few things with that fuel tank. The obvious thing is, has it got any fuel in it? But actually, we could also monitor the temperature, because if it gets close to ignition, we probably want to send some sort of an alert. So let's just try and write some code from scratch to do this. Get us started. So we're going to alias fuel tank to device 0. I don't think we need an awful lot to this code actually. We're going to run it in a loop as always, so we'll do that and we'll set the yield. Right, so let's think about what we want to do. So we want to load into R0 the fuel tank. Now, pressure, or we're definitely going to want the pressure. Tank temperature, we may as well have that as well. Right, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to say branch if the temperature is greater than, I'm going to say 20 degrees, maybe too high, or too low rather, but I'm going to jump there to say too hot. Right, so we're going to build a little routine here called too hot. Too hot is going to say set the device setting so we probably want a warning that the temperature is high on there, so we're going to have that as a warning, so it's going to be 200. Temperature high from memory I think is 41 or 42, I'm trying to remember which one. We'll stick it as 242 for a minute. I'm then going to say if it's less than 25 degrees, I'm trying to work out where the ignition point is and I'm not quite sure with the combustion changes. Then we're going to jump back to loop end. So if on the other hand it's over 298, then we've really got more of a problem and we need to say actually that's a danger at that point. or we can make that an alert and this a warning. I think that's better because we're going to have danger is going to be imminent action, imminent problem, which is going to be that there's actually combustion. So there's another bit we want actually, which is like on fire, and this is simply going to say SDB setting 339, which is the code to say danger, fire detected, and actually I'm going to load into R2 fuel tank combustion, and I'm going to say B GTZ, so if it's greater than 0, R2, we're going to go straight to on fire. That's the first thing we're going to do. I'm just going to double check whether a tank actually reports combustion. It might not. Interesting. It does, good, okay, that's fine. We probably also ought to detect the pressure versus the maximum. Obviously we don't want that going boom. So we'll also read, whoops, fuel tank, whoops, I don't want that in R2 though, I want that in R3 maximum. Okay, so then what we're going to do is we're going to say, we're going to multiply R3 by 0.9. So R3 is now 90% of the fuel tank maximum. I'm hoping that maximum is pressure, but I'm wondering if it might be total moles. And if the pressure is greater than R3, we're going to jump to full. So to full is going to be a little routine in here that's going to say to full, that's going to say SDB setting, and now we want this to say pressure high, which I cannot remember what it is, but I think we'll probably, let's call it 240 for now. I'm going to go check these in a minute, and we're going to jump back to loop end. Okay, so if it's over full, then that's a problem there. So let's confirm that, and then let's go and check on the speaker. This shows us the sounds. Okay, so temperature high is 41, temperature low is 42. So temperature high is 41, pressure high is 39. So what's fire then? Combustion, fire is 28. Right, okay. So 39 is high pressure, 41 is high temperature. Right. Okay, so I've done that slightly wrong, but it's a quick fix. So these become 41. That becomes 28, becomes 41, and that becomes 39. Okay, so those are the kind of failure states of the tank is too full, too hot, or on fire. It feels like something we ought to know quite urgently. So assuming none of those are true, the next thing we want to care about is actually, is it getting too empty? So I think what we're going to do is we're going to say, if the pressure, which we put into R0, is less than, where should we put that, less than maybe 100 kPa, well, that's a bit of a guess where the threshold should be. We're going to put that, have that jump to fuel low. So fuel low, you'll get the idea of how this is working now. It's just another little thing that will say set the setting to warning pressure low. I think that was the right way around, and then jump to the loop end. So let's just double check that. No, pressure low is 40. Okay, I can't see any that are a better fit. terms of warnings. It would be nice if there was one that said fuel low, but there's not. Some of these, I think, I can sort of see the point of them, but they're definitely less useful than some of the warnings we could have. I'd love to see a wider range of these introduced, although I'd really like it if they didn't go above 99, because that will break all of my alert system logic. But beyond that, it would be amazing to have some more in here with some more failure states. But I think we're going to have to do that. I can't see a better solution. We could go with malfunction detected or system failure, but it's not really a malfunction. It could be a system failure. I think we'll go with system failure when it actually hits 0 or gets very close to. So I think 24, which is system failure, we will use, but for now, so that's fuel low, but actually what we're going to do is we're going to say BGT R0, say it's above 25, we'll go back to loop end, otherwise we'll override that and change the setting to 224. Okay, so I think that's all the logic we need in there. It's pretty simple. It's basically just monitoring different states on the tank itself, and we'll call this alert control fuel tank, and we'll add that one to the library. I'm trying to call them all something consistent. I'm not sure I've quite managed it, but at least if it starts with alert control, we might find it again later. So this is alert control fuel tank, and this will monitor the fuel tank. Okay, confirm that. Right, so all that requires now is for us to actually have a chip to put that onto. Did this make Electrum? No. Because this has got a manual valve on here. I could probably trust the system now, it seems to be behaving. Right, let's, whoops, clip the spacebar then. There we go, grab that, consume that. Right, look at that, so much better. Change that. Right, that's produced Electrum. I'm going to need that in a minute. Okay, let's get a chip. That housing we made to take inside, so that can go in there. Nearly done. So let's do that. Let's export that and see how many bugs we've got. Where are we going to install this? Did I not make another? I thought I made another housing. Have I just thrown both housings inside? I think I have. I'm an idiot. Okay, right. So what we want to do with this is we want to run it on the black network because that's where it's going to pick up, but then we want to mirror it onto purple. think I've done. Did I throw two housings inside? Am I going completely mad? No. What did I do with the other one? Oh, I don't know. I obviously have gone completely mad. Right. Or I only made one. I thought I'd made two. You don't have enough copper and enough steel. Right, I'm going to go retrieve that one. Yeah, I really don't know what I'm doing. I've gone crazy. Right, it's not in there, is it? No. Maybe I didn't make it. There's too many things going on. Your brain gets full after a while. Right, okay, so... Oh, it's there. Okay, so rather than using rack space in here, I'm going to put it... I could actually slide it right up snug to that, couldn't I? That's not a bad idea. Put that in there. Okay. And hopefully okay, that's generating a warning already. So we might need to look at some of those thresholds. Right, I'm going to pick this up while I've got it there. Okay, I mean that's not going to do anything yet. I wonder whether we can mount on the back of that. I don't think we can, but it might just be a small redeeming feature for its sins, if I can, although I haven't got any spare logic IOs in here anyway. Not even sure I've got any free ones over here. No, right, okay. So, first things first, let's go see actually what's in there. Okay, so it's 1.287 MPa, 2000 kilomoles of H2 1000. It's at -2 degrees, so I'm not sure why that's should be fine. This could well turn out to be a situation where, well, let's have a look first of all. Wait, was that 328? It was, wasn't it? 328? If it is, then that's the combustion code not working properly still. No, 239. I need to chip anyway. Right. .239, so it's triggering a 239. It thinks it's too full. Okay, so I think this is possibly moles rather than pressure. It certainly isn't too full. Let's try that and see whether that helps. Right, while I'm in here I should resave that. Okay, let's okay, it's still reporting at 239. It's possible that that just doesn't report correctly. Okay, I may need to do some more research into that. I'm going to disable that alert for now. In fact, I'm going to do something slightly different. I'm going to actually hard code the pressure. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say BGT. So if the pressure is greater than 50,000, then we're going to go to 2 full, because 60,000 bad things start to happen. But it's basically the pipes that will be the issue. Let's do that. That's a temporary fix, so I'm not going to save that for now. I do want to investigate the properties of that. Okay, now you're just taking that. Of course, there's a fundamental flaw in the code. It never sets an OK status, which it really ought to do at the start of the loop. So the loop should say everything's OK unless one of these things holds. So we need to do that. Okay, so that is actually okay, that's now in an OK status. Right, so the next thing we need to do is we need to label that so we know what the hell it is. Alert fuel. Okay, now got any more logic chips? No, 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 no. Okay, and then all we need to do is to mirror the value from that IC onto the purple network. Now, I don't think this is going to work. It would be absolutely lovely if it did. No. What a shame. I also don't think I can do this. No. That's really annoying. Okay, well, we'll have to use space in this rack here then, won't we? Oh, did it give me the option of putting one? Oh no, it was there, it gave me the option, which is no good to me at all. It's actually a bit of a nuisance. I guess we'll have to come up with the same layout as we did on the other ones where we place them like that, and then we ran the, not going to have enough cable, black along here. No, we should be fine. The purple goes along the floor, the black goes along the ceiling. As long as we stick to that, we'll be fine. Okay, guess what? We're out of cable again. I thought when I made absolutely stupid amounts of cable a few episodes ago, that would keep me going for a really, really very long time, but seems to be a constant struggle. Too much automation in this base, clearly. Right, throw that in there. I've yet to figure out where I'm going to bond the pink and black networks. It's going to need to be done, because that rack I am now using was where I was going to do that. I think we're going to end up having to extend this because of the stupidness of those roll covers. There we go. I'm not bitter. Much. Okay, there we go. Right. So now let's set this to alert fuel. Set this to setting. That's up and running. Okay, good. Right. I think that will do for now. Yeah, I think we're going to end up having to go out and at least one more frame. Because I think, yeah, the pink's in there, which is useful. Leave that like that so I can see it exposed. Yeah, it's useful, but we need to get that and the purple together somewhere, because I need to be able to mirror all of the information from the atmosphere processing as well, but that's a job for another time. Okay, so for now, yeah, that one's bumped up, that's fine. Let's go grab the rest of the cable as it comes out. Alright, that's enough, stop. There we go, 250s. Right, okay, so let's go and connect some of these up downstairs. We've got a couple of things to do. Okay, there's no more room in that one, is there? We had an IC housing after all down here. Right, this needs a bit of sorting out. Got some slightly strange cabling going on here. Right. Okay, right. So I'll put that one in there. And I believe we've got a chip in here. Yes, we have. Yeah, and it's blank. Good. Okay, so this chip here, we are going to load the power displays code onto. And obviously we're mirroring these devices now, so we can set that up, and that will give us a power display in the control room. So that's the first thing to do. Actually, let's whoops, power displays. Too much electronics in here not to label things. Okay, right, so now hopefully we can point this at the logic mirror. Logic mirror supply, and this one at logic mirror demand. Right, this one at LED power status. It's better. I was reading it from the wrong place. I was reading the cycle too. Right, so this one to display power supply, this one to display power demand, this one to, why did I not call it display power net? Probably called it LED display. What the hell did I call it? Net? Yeah, maybe. Or is it just not connected? Okay, I think that's just not connected. Did I run out of, I think I ran out of cable, didn't I? Right, okay, we'll come back and fix that in a minute. Okay, so the next thing to do is we also want to connect the alert supervisor. Well, if we've got a spare device, that's not connected to anything. So this one we can now connect to the fuel tank. Let's just turn that off while we do it. Otherwise all hell could break loose. Did I forget to label? No. Okay, what's going on here? I was expecting to find the fuel alert, although I can't remember turning that on and labeling it, so I think that's the problem. Okay, so we've got two little bits of stuff to do. One in the control room, which is quick and easy, I hope, and the other which is in the topside switch room and is therefore not. Yeah, that's the problem here. Look, that's not connected. I ran out of cable. Right. And that's called display power net. Okay, right. Unknown at line 11. Okay, I've probably not connected the LED correctly then, have I? LED power status. my assumption was that this was a mirroring problem. But this is setting the displays, so it's turning the LED on. That should work. Setting the modes on those displays, all of that should work. If it was going to have a problem, I'd expect it to be down here. So what have I done? Something stupid.
Power low.
Right, that's the cable, that's the cable. That is LED power status, that is power supply, that is power demand, that is power net. So what on earth is going on? Let's just make sure I've exported the right code. Well, I'm completely baffled. I guess I must have not exported the right code. Okay. Let's close that one. Okay, and then we need to go, can have a quick stop on the way past and see if those displays are functioning. Yes, they are. Lovely. And let's go and check whether I connected up the new logic mirror correctly up here. Hopefully it's as simple as no, I didn't. That's a logic reader, it's not a logic mirror, that's what I did. Right, okay, that was just stupid. Helps if you connect the right device, doesn't it? Logic mirror, fuel, alert. Okay, right, mystery solved. Now we've just got to connect that to the IC. What did I call it? Did I call it IC? IC housing, alert, fuel. IC housing, alert, fuel. Okay, right. Let's try this one again. Logic mirror, fuel alert. Okay, good. So the routing on this is going to be 0.5. So the other thing we do want to do is we want to just set up an alert light here. Right, that's a solid generator. So I think we're going to use that one as the fuel tank. I think I may move that LED off that panel actually, so that it's clear it's not one of the alerts, because I keep coming in and thinking, what's going on? Why is these not running? The fact it's constantly flashing colours is not that helpful. Right, anyway, that's a job for another time. For now, what we are going to do is we are going to again turn that off to avoid chaos. LED fuel tank. So that is on pin 4, and it is alert on pin 4, so 0.5. So we're just going to just adjust the stack. Obviously every time you add a new device you've got to do this with the diagnostic system because it needs to know what it's talking to. So that becomes 0.5. Confirm that, export that. And there we go. So that should now feed out to the fuel tank LED if this is triggering with a 0.5, which will be obviously 0.1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if the fuel alert triggers, it triggers the LED tank. So let's close that up. That's the alert system updated. There's actually a spare light there. There's a whole load of spare lights there. Take them up. I think we'll aim to move the charge light somewhere like this. Whoops. I don't know where. I can't actually find a space that it will go because there's so much cabling behind the wall, but the principle is good. Somewhere over that way. But for now that can... Oh, we've got lights. No, stack with those. Stop being naughty. Right. So I think that is what we can do there. Let's get back topside. See whether or not we can add enough radiators to get the generator really running more sustainably. At the moment I'm not going to modify the code we wrote last time to control it because it seems to be basically doing the job. It's turning it on when it can and off when it can't. I think the trick is what we need to really be able to do is to cool it faster. So let's see whether or not we can see what this this cooling array is doing here. I think it just needs to be bigger. Yeah, I mean this water temperature is obviously still high, right? So if we can have this tied to a much larger network, that should allow us to really cool it down a lot quicker. I think that's what needs to happen. That said, look at that. I think the batteries are actually full. Nearly, very nearly. That is a miracle. We have power. It's the middle of the night and we have power. It shows how powerful the gas generator is. Even just, you can see how infrequently we're flicking it on, but it just generates so much power while it is running that actually the fact it then overheats, it almost doesn't matter. There's a lot. It's probably coming off here. Just thought, actually, what's the temperature of this gas in here? Right now it's actually in pretty good state, so I'm going to let that out because it's quite highly pressurized. It's obviously going up because the furnace is on. We'll need to shut it off in a minute, I suspect. Well, the furnace is not emptying. Okay, if it starts emptying we'll have to turn it off double quick. I mean, it's still just hot. Okay, pressure's coming down. That was very high before. It was at 17 MPa, which, okay, we're still a long way away from popping the tank, but I don't really want to take the risk, to be honest. So, right, these will be working hard, but let's dump the pollutant. And actually I do want to make sure this is on because I don't want to cause combustion in here, so let's suck those out. Whoa, look at the heat of that. That's shut down the mixer for that reason. I suspect we've had a bit of combustion in that pipe, to be honest. that's expired. That's expired. Okay, that's the problem. So we need to replace those pretty quick, actually. Oh, let me through, let me through. Let's see whether we can make a medium filter. Yes, we can. Right, I'll take that. As long as it's reasonably quick, I'll take that. Come on. In danger of blowing things up otherwise. Need to get the oxygen out of that waistline as quick as I can. Right, there we go, that's better. Okay, so the oxygen's still quite cold just because we had so much of it that was super chilled. Look how hot that hydrogen is. We're not mixing that with anything for a while. And actually the CO2 is very hot as well. I think this line probably needs to shut now. I suspect this has started emptying. Yes, it has. Yeah, okay. Probably caught that in the nick of time, to be honest. Okay, that's going to take a while just for everything to calm down and cool down. We might put a radiator on there, actually. It would be quite good to be able to bring that down faster. In the meantime, hopefully we've got enough gas. Yeah, there's still over an MPa of gas in there, so we've only used about a third of the original supply. Yeah, we definitely need to cool that liquid faster, because what's happening is it's not flowing back in because it's not cooling down fast enough, and then we're just superheating the little bit of water that is in there. I don't know why I've just turned that off. That's the exact machine I need. We need as many of these as we can make, which looks like at the moment 5. Although I think we can get that to 9, but that's still nowhere near enough. Yeah, let's see if we can. I think we've still got some steel left from the last smelt. Yep, although we're getting through it at quite a rate again. Might have to go get some more coal soon, but there we go. Okay, that's enough to make another 16 on top of whatever's in there at the moment. So that will be 24. Let's grab some more pipes. Go and see what we can do about making this more effective. Okay, that was a little bit more random than I'd aimed at, but never mind. Right, so let's see, we've obviously already started to move into this frame here. Right, can't really see what's going on inside the ground here, so I think we're going to need to mine some of that. We'll go this way as well. Could actually just put that into level mode, couldn't I? to stop somewhere. Right. Okay. It's a reasonable amount of space for more radiators, but I think we can still do better. Let's go and see how many radiators we actually managed to get. Okay, plenty of room for some more, but right, let's for now let's just get this rest of these set equally so it looks a bit tidier. Okay, so I guess if we want to go any further, we'll come out this way a bit more. Oh, not quite enough, but never mind. Right, okay, that's a pretty big cooling array. Hopefully once that's all fully set up with radiators, obviously we haven't had enough to do all of that, that will cool down quite quickly. We'll see. Doesn't seem to be doing huge amounts at the moment, although the external temperature standing here is 25 degrees, so that suggests that quite a lot of heat is coming out. If you consider the standing here, it's 18. Obviously it's going to go better at night time. It's actually going up at the moment, and that's because of the generator running. So I guess the question is, with the extra charging, has that improved the rate of power spikes? I'm not actually sure whether it has or not. It's quite hard to tell. So obviously the last time I went for an approach where I just turned the generator right up, so it does a massive spike periodically, but there is an alternative approach, which is to turn this down a bit, some sort of 10, so we could turn it down to say 5, let's go with 3, and see whether or not it can actually run constantly at 3. I mean, it's obviously not going to at the moment, it's 52 degrees in here, but clearly the power spike's much lower. But it's a question of whether by trading it off so that it's running constantly, we're actually better off. It's definitely struggling to cool things in here, isn't it? Even with the I guess the water's not even slightly helping at this point, because it's above atmospheric temperature, so it's being sucked out to cool down. Because actually, if we put it in at the moment, although it's cooler than this heat, it's still going to be adding heat to the system compared to the atmosphere. I need to think about that, whether we actually empty it completely or whether we leave some in the pipe. It's a bit binary at the moment, but it might be preferable to not draw it out during the day when the water gets that hot. Let's see what happens once we hit night time. I mean, obviously the power generated, I've turned the fuel amount right down, so the power generated, those spikes are going to be much lower. They're only 6 kilowatts, so obviously that's going to be a net power loss compared to what we saw before. The question is, can we get it into a state where it just starts and just runs constantly? Because if it's constantly outputting, say, 12 kilowatts, if we can get it to that stage, that would be quite beneficial. But I just don't know whether this can possibly cool fast enough, even at night time, with an outside temperature that is down over here to -5 degrees C. These pipes are still at 29 and they're only just starting to fall. And I think that's the big challenge really of this at the moment, is whether we can actually cool it fast enough. Having said that, we could boost the pressure a bit over here, because now we've doubled the size of the radiator network. We see what's coming in from here is it's not exactly cold, but it will help. Plus, more water is a larger buffer. You can see it's just bouncing around at 33, 34 degrees, what's in this side. And what's in the radiator is still up in the high 20s, so really we're not keeping up with the heat output of that generator at all. It's coming down, but one of the issues is obviously that the outside temperature here is -29, whereas here it's at -41. It's just not getting as cold because there's such heat coming off these. Okay, so I think what we've proved is that that's less efficient for battery charging. So then the other alternative is we go the other way. We throw it up to say 20, which I would expect will overheat instantly. The amount of power that produces should be phenomenal, frankly. I think it's probably just as well we pressurise that with CO2 rather than actual atmosphere. It's why one of the reasons that CO2 supply is so hot, I suppose. We'll need to think about that. But we're cycling hot CO2 round and round and round. Look at the temperature in that waste. So I think we need to build a buffer in here where we bring this hot exhaust out. I'm assuming this exhaust is pretty hot. Yeah, just a little bit. but obviously I don't want to blow that tank up, which I suspect will happen really quite quickly if we just leave that turned off. Actually, don't even think that's great. Look at that, that's coming in at 400 degrees now. So that needs really to be connected this way as well. Strictly speaking, that valve's not required. Right, okay, that will at least stop us dumping extremely hot gas into this side. Otherwise we're going to start to have a problem with keeping everything cool, because that's over 100 degrees C. This, on the other hand, is going to become a problem quite quickly. So we're going to need a proper tank to hold hot gas over here. Let's get that done. I'm surprised that we haven't had a hab. Oh, I suppose we haven't got enough gas to actually be filling the hab currently. We're going to need that real soon. Tank. No, I don't want it insulated. That's the last thing I want. Okay, so I think all the evidence is we're going to need more radiators to cool the hot exhaust gas as well. Unless I choose to try to pipe it all the way back over to that hot gas tank over there, which is a possibility, but it feels like an awful lot of pipe work. There's no spare pipes in there, are there? No. But what there is some space. That will make life a little easier. Right, we're going to need more pipes anyway over here, but this is already a little more full than I would like. Right, where are we going to put this thing? Can we fit it in that space there? We can. Fit it right there. Right. Haven't yet really worked out what I'm going to do with that hot gas once I've got it over here. I just know it can't stay in there. Right, okay, so that is now a ever-increasing store of very hot gas. We'll need something doing with it, and then eventually connecting back in. There's not a lot of room to move, and I suspect we're going to have to remove this setup here and put it someplace else. In the meantime, how's that coming along with cooling itself down now? We're not putting any more heat into it. Oh wow, look at that, it's only 600 degrees. Yeah, okay, so certainly some more work to do here. I think what we'll need to do is to have something that's actively cooling it with some valve work, so that we bring it into another section, cool it down. Once it reaches a sensible temperature, release it into the waste gas, and have that cycle through and do that. That requires quite a bit of setting up. I am, however, concerned that we are basically just going to fill this forever. We must not forget that this needs to be dealt with. At the moment we're only at half an MPa, but I suppose worst case the pipe will probably burst, but I think I'm going to put a back pressure regulator and a vent just to vent it when it gets to dangerous pressure. Is there a pressure reg in there? No, we've got 2 volume pumps though. Okay, yeah, we're going to set that up just as a safety precaution, because it's the sort of thing that I'll forget about, and suddenly we'll have an enormous explosion taking out half the base, and I'll suddenly remember why. There we go. Now at least when it goes, it'll make a noise which we may or may not hear through the thin atmosphere. At least that's the plan. Right. There's not a lot of room to work. Whatever we do here is going to have to be probably fixed properly later. But it's essential that we have something here, otherwise we're really at risk of a serious problem. So we're going to have a back pressure regulator. I'm just trying to think how I'm going to get the power to it. It's actually super annoying. Hopefully that will work, and then we'll run the power through here and here and through, whoops, had it right and then I messed it up, through here and here. Okay, that works. And then we will come out here. May not even be able to use this pipe organ, I just thought it was a bit of fun. Oh no, we'll connect directly there. However, what we're going to do is, where are we going to mount the vent? That's the first problem, because they can't just go anywhere. I can't put one of them in space, it needs to go on a frame. maybe this will work. Let's try it.
Hangar caution.
There we go. Right, should have been a bit more sensible about the use of paint, really, shouldn't I? Because now I'm going to have to do this. I mean, I suppose there's an opportunity to sort some of these out as well, but that's not really the point. Absolutely loads still needs doing, but do what we can while we can. Never know, it might save us an accident later. Can't even reach into there from here. Ah! Drifted all over the place then. Oh, come on. Get me in there. Just trying to do the right thing here. Really cannot reach that piece of cable. Okay, that's going to have to stay red, even though that's kind of annoying. There is no angle where it recognises where I'm trying to point. Super frustrating. No, okay, well never mind. We've done quite a lot. Right, that's much better anyway. There is still some underneath here that needs sorting. Actually, I can see it, can't I? So I can just do it like this. There we go. Right, hopefully that's all of it. I don't imagine it is, but Right, now we're going to we know that will actually set to 20265. That could take much higher, but that's as high as the pressure rig will go. Turn that on. Okay, at least now we've got some protection. If that gets above 20 MPa, that should release gas from in there. It's much the same setup as we've got on the CO2, to be honest. Although, to be honest, with the state of the heat of that CO2, I'm quite inclined to dump it. But there we go. Right, okay, so more hot gas problems. Seems to be an ongoing problem.
Power
Not sure how well this thing's getting on. Well, it's actually down to 20 degrees, so that is gradually working, which is good news. In the meantime, we are fully charged. Nearly fully charged. We were fully charged for a second. That's 67 kilowatts coming in there. So we're just bouncing off fully charged. I think we can call that fully charged. Good. Right. Okay, that's been useful. So in terms of what we've done this time, we have got the cooling improved. We've also hooked up the gas system and the power monitoring to the alerts, which is obviously important. Now that the fuel status is obviously critical infrastructure for the base, and we've reached full charge. Oh, got carbon. I don't know what we threw in there that's been turned into carbon, but something. I feel I might eject that and see. Maybe ferns. Maybe it's cooked ferns and they've gone into carbon. Speaking of which, no, that doesn't do anything. Okay, so one of the things we've still got on our list to do at some point is to produce some meds to stop me from dying all the time. Be good. Actually, let's eat some food. There we go, and then it's just my lung warning. Maybe we could do that. Maybe we could do that really quickly before the end. It's an hour and a half, but I think we'll take 10 more minutes, and we'll make a reagent chemistry station rather, and see whether or not that allows us to make some medicine. That would be amazing. It's not here, so but what we do need here is table. I have a feeling we've got a spare one down at the bottom, but I'd rather have 2 tables and need 1 than have no tables and need 1. Chemistry station. Copper. Oh, that needs steel. Okay. Well, let's do it. We've still got some steel. I think we're going mining soon, by the looks of things. Steel in there, copper in there, make 1 of them. I'm not sure the paint mixing's working yet. It probably is, but since you can print paint for 1 iron at the moment, it doesn't seem worth the extra hassle. Okay, so let's grab that. And right on time, let's grab that. We've got quite a lot of cable, it's the wrong colour, but we've got red paint inside, that's fine. Let's go see what we can do. Also gives us a reason to use some of that space downstairs, which I hadn't really figured out what we were going to do with yet, so we can build a little chemistry lab. Somewhere in here. It's a bit rough and ready, but you know. Ooh. Don't want to put my wrench in there, that's for sure. Don't know what it will do to it. Really need to sort this locker out at some point so I can finish that window, but there we go. Oh, I always do that. Right, there we go. Right, so this can come out under the floor. We will build something in this part that's a bit more of a living space at some point. Right, I guess let's see what we can do. Let's grab a fern. I've got no idea how much of this we need. I've never done this before. Let's put that in. No, go in. Okay, well that clearly doesn't make anything. Oh wait. What I'm looking for is phenoxytone. Found in a fan. I think then what I need is a medical pill. What does that need? Oh, it needs 10 of them, so I think it's going to need 1 silver, 1 cobalt and 10 ferns. To make that work would be my guess. Okay, so we don't have any cobalt at the moment anyway. Alright, well, we've started our chemistry lab anyway, even if it's currently of little use, although I feel it should be white. That's better, that's a bit more lab-like. Good, right. Oh look, we've got more ferns there as well. Okay. So we're obviously going to have to go foraging, if that's the right word. But for now, we're looking all good. I will switch that over to percentage next time as well. I think that's just reading the charge directly. Now I said I'll just do this and then guess what? Oh, we haven't got any logic math down here anyway. No, okay. Alright, that's my reminder that we need to change that over to percentage next time. Or, better yet, we'll have a percentage next to it. There we go. Right, okay, there we go. So next time we'll get that sorted, but for now, right, that can actually go back on because we're not going to muck about with that side. Just saves kicking it around the floor. Okay, that will do for this one. I hope, again, as I always say, I hope you've enjoyed it. If you haven't, well, I'm very sorry. But if you have, I would love it if you would leave a like, a comment, and subscribe to the channel. As I've said on the last couple of videos, I'm starting to see a few people now who have contacted me either through the channel or elsewhere who have actually found Stationeers when they maybe didn't know about it before because of the videos. I think that's fantastic. If you're one of them, welcome to the game. I hope you enjoy it as much as I have been enjoying it. Just don't forget that you need to sometimes leave your computer for real life. Anyway, that's it for this episode, and I hope to see you on the next one.